Have you ever, after a long, tiring day with work and nameless worries, returned to a house that now lacked a familiar figure, sat alone in silence, and suddenly wondered, do I have enough strength to start over from scratch? That question, it did not resound out loud, it just smouldered, swirling in the chest. It was a sigh when you looked at the house bill that only one person was shouldering. It was a feeling of a skip when you realised that the joint savings had now had to be divided in half, or even nothing at all. It was the confusion when the financial future, which was drawn by two people, now only had you holding the brush, and the page before your eyes was a frighteningly blank colour. Divorce. People often talk about mental pain, about the breakdown of a relationship, but few people dare to speak directly to you about another war, a silent but equally arduous war, the financial war. That's when you realise that freedom comes with a price. The price of having to face all the responsibilities yourself, from the smallest expenses to the biggest plans for the future. I understand that feeling. Many of us have or are experiencing it. You're not alone. It is completely normal to feel uncertain, anxious, even scared when thinking about money after a breakup. But, and this is the most important thing I want you to remember, this door is not closed to lock you in the darkness of insecurity, but to give you the opportunity to open another door, a door that leads to true financial freedom and independence. This video is not just giving you numbers and formulas. I will help you turn those lifeless numbers into a detailed plan, a solid map for you to not only survive the post-divorce period, but also live a brilliant life in your own way. Watch this video until the end, because it could be the turning point that completely changes the way you look at money and your life in the future. We will not talk empty words. We will go into specific actions. This path to financial regeneration consists of 4 core steps. Each step is a piece of the puzzle, and when put together, you will have a complete picture of the freedom that awaits. Step 1. Courageously face it. Personal financial truth declaration. This is the most difficult step, but also the most important step. Just like you cannot heal a wound if you dare not look at it directly. Many people after divorce tend to avoid it. They are afraid of facing the harsh financial reality. Real example. Ms. White, a 35-year-old office worker, has not dared to open her credit card statement for nearly half a year after her divorce. She is afraid of the debt figures from when she was living together, afraid of seeing her savings account halved. She keeps spending according to old habits, in an illusion that everything is okay. Until one day her card was declined when she paid for her child's school fees. The shock was like a bucket of cold water waking her up. That night she spread out all her bills, bank statements, and debt papers on the table. Tears fell, but then came a strange feeling of relief. For the first time in months, she knew exactly where she stood. Lesson learned. It's the ambiguity and uncertainty that gnaws at your mind and causes anxiety. Clarity, though harsh, is empowering. Take a weekend evening, make a cup of tea, and create your statement of truth. Write it all down. Monthly income, salary, secondary income, if any. Exact figure after tax. Current assets, cash, savings, estimated value of remaining personal assets. Debts, credit card debt, personal loans, home/car loans, the part you have to pay. List the total debt and interest rate for each. Fixed monthly expenses, rent/mortgage, electricity, water, internet, gas, children's education. Flexible expenses, food, shopping, entertainment. Check your last 3-month statements to get an average. When all these numbers are on paper, they are no longer invisible monsters in your mind. They are just numbers, and numbers can be solved. Step 2. Create a rebirth budget. The 50-30-20 rule for singles. The 50-30-20 rule is very famous, but we need to personalize it for this special situation. This budget is not just for managing money, it is a tool for you to rebuild your life. 50% for essential needs, including rent, food, transportation, utility bills, and mandatory expenses for children. This is your survival foundation. At this stage, strictly define essential. A new dress may be wanted, but it is not essential. 30% for wants and healing. This is the most important part of this version. I do not call it the usual wants, I call it the healing fund. After a breakup, your soul needs to be soothed. Use this money intentionally. A coffee date with a close friend, a good book, a yoga class, a short trip alone. This is not a wasteful spending. This is an investment in your mental health. A real-life example is Terry, a software engineer who, after his divorce, felt guilty every time he spent money on himself. He just threw himself into work, but then he realized he was exhausted and empty. He started to take a small amount of this 30% to go fishing on the weekends. That activity helped him calm down, reconnect with himself. His spirit was better, he worked more effectively, and even had more ideas for side projects. 20% for a secure future. This is the money that will build a wall to protect you. The top priorities in this 20% are: build an emergency fund. The goal is to have 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. This is the ultimate safety net, helping you sleep soundly every night. When your car breaks down or you get sick, you won't have to panic. Pay off debt. Focus on paying off credit card debt first. Save for long-term goals, retirement, buying a home, investing in your children's education. Step 3. Create a freedom fund, the ultimate weapon for singles. In addition to an emergency fund, I always advise people starting over to build something called a freedom fund. It differs from an emergency fund in its purpose. An emergency fund is for defense. A freedom fund is for offense. A real-life example is my neighbor who works in a toxic environment, but she doesn't dare to quit because she is a single mother and the financial burden is too great. She started to quietly build a freedom fund by taking on extra work. After a year, when she had 6 months' salary in hand, she confidently submitted her resignation. She allowed herself a month off to recover her energy before looking for a new, better job. The Freedom Fund gave her the right to choose, the right to say no to things that are no longer suitable. Lesson learned: money, when managed wisely, can not only buy things. It buys choice, it buys time, and most importantly, it buys the freedom to live a life true to your values. Step 4. Become the CEO of your life. You're no longer the deputy in your family. Now you are the CEO of the company called your life. What would a good CEO do? They would review and optimize everything, negotiate, call your internet and phone service provider to ask about better packages, call your bank to negotiate a lower credit card interest rate. Don't be shy. A few minutes of phone calls can save you millions of dollars each year. Cut ruthlessly. Review all auto-renewal subscriptions, Netflix, Spotify, apps. If you don't really need them, cut them mercilessly. Increase income. Instead of just thinking about cutting, think about ways to make the pie bigger. What skills do you have that can be done in your spare time? Writing, designing, teaching online. Start with the smallest things. Managing your finances after divorce isn't always a bed of roses. There will be times when you feel discouraged. But remember, every dollar you save, every debt you pay off, every financial goal you achieve is not just a financial success. It's a statement that says, I can. I'm rebuilding my life, and it's going to be better than before. We've been on a journey together, from feeling lost in an empty room to sketching a detailed map to regaining control. Managing your finances wisely after divorce is not about being stingy or miserable. It's about self-respect, about taking back control, and about loving yourself enough to build a strong and secure future for yourself. You can do this. You have the strength and wisdom within you to overcome any challenge. This plan is the tool, the weapon, to turn that strength into reality. If this video has touched something deep inside you, if it has lit a spark of hope, a source of motivation, show me that by clicking the like button. And most importantly, I want you to do something for yourself right now. Go down to the comments section and write, I'm ready. This is not just a comment. This is a commitment, a vow to yourself that you are ready to be the CEO of your life, ready to face, ready to act, and ready to build a brilliant financial future. Finally, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because our journey is just beginning. I will be back with much more in-depth content to accompany you on the path to finding yourself and conquering new heights. Thank you for listening. Remember, you deserve a great life. Start building it today.